What is up, Nuggets? It's your boy, Killer Pizza, here with a brand new video for you rascals and rapscallions out there. As always, I hope everybody's having a great weekend, watching some good movies. And I'll tell you guys what, I have never been more excited to sit on my ass in the AC and watch movies for the entire weekend. So I have absolutely no plans this weekend, no wrestling shows, and as a lot of you guys may know, my shoot job, I work outside, which I love it. You know, honestly, I feel blessed in a lot of ways that I can get fresh air 40 plus hours a week. But this past week here in Michigan was miserable. Over 95 degrees every day of the week with humidity. And I was making jokes, around Wednesday or Thursday, I felt like I was in the movie Groundhog's Day. It's just the same thing every day. It was just brutal. Everybody at my job, shout out to anybody that works outside in the heat. It's no joke. You got to stay hydrated and whatnot. I got heat rash on my arm, and I just felt physically and mentally drained. I mean, this isn't a boo-hoo story or anything. I love my job. I'm just saying it can be a bitch when you work outside, and it has made me appreciate the air conditioning a lot more. But anyways, with that being said, as you can tell from the title, this video is something a little different, but something similar, if that makes sense, because I've done 5 horror movies I want you to own, multiple volumes if you want to check those out. But I decided, ever since I started kind of branching out on this channel and doing more than just horror, I decided it might be a fun idea to suggest 5 comedy movies, comedy being my second favorite genre behind horror. So I'm sure you guys have seen some of these movies in the stack. There's one in here I don't hear anybody ever really talk about, but I just scanned my shelf and I picked 5 movies that I want to suggest for you guys to check out. So the first one, to me, is an absolute classic. I'm not sure if this was out on Blu-ray before, but Shout Select put this out. This is Jim Carrey and Liar Liar. This is by far my favorite Jim Carrey movie. This is Jim Carrey in his prime, and I mean, this is a lot, because Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura are amazing, but I just love the concept of this. He's a lawyer who's always lying, and he's, bullshitting his ex-wife and his kid makes a birthday wish for one day. I wish my dad couldn't tell a lie. And this is just tailor-made for Jim Carrey. His physical comedy, in my opinion, is the best of all time. He could just make facial expressions, which there's one scene where he's like doing this with his eyes. Oh, and it's the stupidest shit in the courtroom, but it gets me every damn time. And just the funny part of him being a lawyer that can't lie and everything. And there's so many funny quotes in this movie and everything. Your boobs are huge. Or, I'm kicking my ass. So this is just a really funny movie. I think Jim Carrey at his best. Like I said, the physical comedy, the scene alone where he's kicking his ass to get out of everything, to get out of the court case he's in because he can't lie. I love that part too, because he gets done kicking his ass and like, what happened? He's like, I got beat up by a terrible, pathetic man at the end of his rope. I just find funny because he's talking about himself, but he's not lying or anything like that. But this is just a really funny movie, and it's got a little fun, like, family tie with the kid and a happy ending at the end. But I'm sure you guys are well aware of Jim Carrey, but I don't know if all you know that the Shout Select release came out. But yes, I love this movie so much. If any of you are familiar with like my wrestling and everything, my tag team partner Nick Baker, by the way, he hates Jim Carrey. Send him hate mail. Do that. Tell him he's an asshole. All right, now next up is one I feel people don't really talk about very often. At least I don't hear anybody ever really bring this one up. When I first bought this, it was a blind buy, and I was pleasantly surprised. This one is called Joshy. Now, this is about this guy named Josh. He's about to get married or something like that. He's either engaged or just got married, and they're going to have like this bachelor party or like this wedding party or something like that. And in the very beginning of the movie, spoiler, his wife commits suicide, like in the opening credits, which is really fucked up. So this is obviously a movie that has a lot of drama with the comedy, but the guys decide to take him to his like cabin up north or whatever it is to still, because they paid for it, he has the deposit on it. So they figure, let's get him out of the house and try to cheer him up and everything, kind of make it into a guy's retreat and everything. So this movie has a lot of charm to it. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a comedy. There's a lot of funny shit that happens in this movie, but what I really like is the drama mixed with the comedy, just the friendship between everybody. And, like I said, it's a very funny movie. They keep it light with the comedy, I love when a good, like, dramedy, as they say, I like when there's a good balance between the two. But like I said, this is one I feel like a lot of people don't really mention or talk about. And I highly suggest picking this one up. This is a great, underrated comedy movie. Now, next up, this is also one I feel like people don't really talk about enough. And my case is broken. Darn it. But that is 1980s Stir Crazy, Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. They've done so many great movies together, and I'll just say, when I first seen this movie as a kid, you know, you think that, like, Richard Pryor with a stand-up comedy, how much he's known, you know, I figured Richard Pryor would be, like, the lead guy in this movie, which, you know, they co-star in this movie, but this is really the Gene Wilder show. His happy-go-lucky personality in this is so damn funny. And it pretty much follows these two. They take a job like dancing as these like birds in the mall or something for like advertisement for some company, and some guys steal their suits and commit a robbery, and they frame them and get sent to like prison for like 100 years or whatnot. And it's pretty much them just trying to adjust to prison and eventually try to escape and break out. But this is so funny. Speaking of like quotable movies, you know, Richard Pryor walking in, strutting his stuff, Gene Wilder saying, "What are you doing?" "I'm getting bad." "You ain't bad in prison, you gonna get fucked." But this movie is so funny. Like, I quote it all the time. Like, talking about the heat, I could reenact that scene when they're trying to like work them super hard. The prisoners are, and Richard Pryor gets in his bed and he says, "Pillow," and grabs his pillow. That's how I feel like once I get my ass in bed tonight. I'm so damn tired. But this is a classic. Maybe my favorite comedy duo of all time on screen. These guys have so much chemistry, and it's absolutely hilarious. There's my main word on this channel. Absolutely amazing. But I love this movie, and I think you guys will too. Especially if you've never seen it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people out there that haven't seen this movie. You know, a lot of people haven't seen older movies, which I don't even consider 1980 that old of a movie when you consider the history of cinema. But I digress. All right. Now, here is one I rewatched recently. I was going through this binging of raunchy sex teen comedies, and this came out in 1998, I believe. And that is just a prime time for raunchy sex teen comedies. And that is Can't Hardly Wait. Now, this has a 4K coming out at the end of August, if you want to hold off. I'm not one of the people that thinks comedy movies necessarily need 4K upgrades. I don't think they benefit towards that format as much as other genres do, but this is a great movie. It's like about the last day of school, and they have this house party and whatnot, and the jock is broken up with his girlfriend, and this fella here, I forget his name, he's going to confess his love to her, and then you got, what's his name? Seth Green, trying to be something he's not, like the ghetto kid, you know, the thug or whatever, and he gets trapped in the bathroom with his old friend that he was friends with like in elementary school, middle school, and everything. But it's kind of a coming-of-age movie, very funny. But what I like about this movie, I love movies where there's something, different scenes happening all at the same time. And it's kind of intertwining between all these stories. And this one's just a lot of fun. I love the dynamic with the nerd and the jock that bullied the nerd, and they end up kind of becoming friends at one point. Not to give too much away. This is a movie where you could give away the whole movie, and it wouldn't really affect much watching it, just because this is kind of like a comfort movie in a way. It's just an easy watch. This is a lot of fun, this movie right here. And I got this not too long ago, so if you want to pick up the Blu-ray, I'm sure you could probably still get the slip. But like I said, the 4K is coming out sooner than later. But yeah, I love this movie. It just has a lot of charm to it, and, you know, the time capsule of movies in general from the late 90s, early 2000s are so much fun, just like this movie is. And last but not least, I saved this one, the heavyweight, the champion of the stack, this movie right here. Shout Factory's 4K release of Clue. Now, I seen this movie a bunch when I was a kid, but there's some movies I've seen when I was a kid that I kind of like forgot about what's even happening in it. You know what I mean? Like, after all these years went by, because I haven't seen this in like over 20 years once I finally rewatched it. And, man, when it first started, I'm like, how are they going to keep this going? Like the board game Clue? Like, but I was pleasantly surprised right off the bat. Like I said, the characters. This is a star-studded cast. So many good characters. And it's amazing how they add the element of the mystery into this and keep it going and keep twisting everything. And it really gets you guessing. And I think there was like, I know there's 3 different endings to this. And I think what I heard was they played a different ending in certain theaters across America, which is a really cool concept, you know what I mean? Especially before internet. But all 3 of these endings are really great, really funny. And it's just, there's so much good comedy in this, man. And I will say, Tim Curry, this is my favorite Tim Curry performance. And I know that's saying a lot because he's done so many great movies. He's so funny during this whole film. But that very ending scene where he literally goes back and reenacts the entire movie in a span of like 5 to 10 minutes. And he's just talking so quick. And then this happened, that happened, that happened. He's running up and down through the mansion and everything. And then so-and-so slapped him. He's slapping the shit out of people and everything. But Tim Curry's performance in this, everybody's performance in this really, but he's the one that stands out. And I think you'd be surprised by the mystery, you know, and I love like a good mystery movie where they wrap it up at the end and you could kind of, oh, okay, that's exactly what happened. But when I rewatch this, it's one where I'm like, how have I not seen this in so long? A classic. One of the funniest movies. Yeah, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, really, in my opinion. I know that's saying a lot, you know, because there's so many damn funny movies out here. But this one just really hit in all the right places, you know. So funny. Tim Curry, man. And, you know, this cast here, who's all in this too? Let's see. Ellen Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Cant, Christopher Lloyd, Michael. Why am I reading all this? Just check out the damn movie, man. These are my recommendations. Oh, I really botched the end right there, right? So, anyways, those are my choices. 5 comedies you guys need to check out. Pick these Blu-rays up. Liar, Liar. Joshy. Stir Crazy. Can't Hardly Wait. And Clue. But, yep, like I said, I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I'm just going to chill and watch some movies. I might refile my shelves. That's something I've been needing to do for quite some time now. I have to put a lot of shit on my shelves. And I don't know how you guys organize your stuff. I do mine by genre. I don't separate by boutique labels. And I do everything alphabetical. So, you know the drill. You got to rotate everything down. It's fun, but it can be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? But also, I picked up a couple titles. I got 3 more coming in the mail tomorrow, and this upcoming Tuesday, the 25th, is some of you guys know there is a lot of really badass releases coming out. So I think I'm going to do a haul video this next weekend, and I might even do a Q&A on Sunday or something like that, but I'll keep you guys posted and whatnot. But anyways, like I said, hopefully everybody's having a good one out there. Let me know how hot it's been this week wherever you guys live. I'm very interested in that because it don't really get that hot like this in Michigan. And almost killed your boy, you know. I was almost done for. But anyways, like I said, everybody have a good one. I'll check you guys next time. Blood Guts Gore.